Hi friends, Aitherea here, and today I'm going to share a bunch of things that I have yet to do in Final Fantasy XIV despite playing for 5 years. I started playing in December of 2019 and it's almost December of 2024, so I've been playing this game for a really long time at this point, and as you can guess, this has been inspired by the ongoing discourse about the content drought. For those of you not in the loop, PC Gamer posted an article titled Final Fantasy XIV's Next Big Challenge, making players feel like they're getting their monthly subs worth, not just funding Square's flops while WoW stacks value. And this basically started a conversation about whether or not the subscription is worth it, and a lot of people have been complaining that they're not getting enough content with each patch release to make paying their subscription worth the money. That's kind of the context here. There's been a lot of discussion on places like Reddit and Twitter, and honestly, a lot of negativity and complaining. So that's kind of the TLDR for what we're talking about today. Now, before I get into all of the things that I have not done, I will try to briefly share my thoughts on this whole conversation about content drought and content lulls. So for me personally, I actually really enjoy content lulls after playing for so long. I definitely don't play the game as much as I used to, and I don't want to play as much as I used to. As a new player, there was so much to do, and honestly, there's still a lot that I haven't touched, which is the whole point I'm making this video about, is that this game has so much content, and I feel like people are being a little unfair, and perhaps things are a little bit overblown, but we'll get to that because there is a ton of content in the game. However, I do think that there is some validity to some of the arguments that people are making with wanting perhaps a little bit more content released with patches. I guess to me, so first of all, I like content lulls because I don't want to play this game, 24/7. I want to have time to play other games. Right now, I've been playing Final Fantasy XVI, almost done, not quite, first playthrough because I don't have a PS5, so have to play it on PC. But yeah, I just love that I don't have to be married to the game and that I don't have to feel FOMO or anything. It's very easy to step away. Content lulls are the perfect time to do so. I play 14 until I don't feel like playing anymore. There's not much new and there won't be until the next patch. And then I get to go explore other games, and there's so many great games that I haven't played. I have not played Cyberpunk. I've not played Horizon Zero Dawn. I've not played any of the Witcher series. Like, there's so many great games that I have on my list to play, and like I said, right now I'm playing 16, so I love that. Now, to the argument of wanting more to do, I can understand this. I personally think that there should be at least a month of stuff to do, because when you pay for a subscription, you're paying for a month at a time. So I think it's fair to be like, well, if a patch drops and it only takes you like a week or two to get done with that content, then that kind of sucks. But again, we have to take into consideration that there can be a lot of content coming out, and some people just don't prefer to do that kind of content, and that's okay. But if that's content that you personally don't like, it's not true that there's nothing to do. Like with 7.1, we're getting a new Alliance raid, we're getting an Extreme trial, we are getting an Unreal trial, and we're getting some dungeons. Just off the bat, we're also getting Beast Tribes, we're also getting custom deliveries. So there is a fair bit to do that should probably take a couple weeks, if not more, right? And I will be doing most of that stuff personally. So for me, I think I'll be getting a lot of value out of it. But if you're not interested in that, maybe you're only going to do like the new dungeons in the Alliance raid and the rest of the stuff you're not going to do, you might feel like, oh, there's not really a lot of content coming out. But it's kind of unfair to pin that on the devs, because you have to remember that they have to make content for all of us, okay? They're not making content just for the raiders or just for the more casual players or just for the crafters. They have to try and come up with stuff for everyone. And that can be really tough, so cut them some slack, okay? Another thing that I think would be probably beneficial that hopefully Yoshi and the devs will consider would be pushing forward certain types of content. So for example, we have the Bozja Southern Front from Shadowbringers I think they call these exploration zones. I'm not sure what the exact term is, but we are getting another one coming here in Dawn Trail. And a lot of people have said that it would have been better to push that forward and drop that in 7.1. Some people think it would be better even earlier. I think 7.1 is a good place for it personally, because for me, with like a new expansion coming out, there's so much to do because there's the whole expansion story. There's new raids that drop after that. There's just so much. There's catching up your characters with their levels, catching up your crafters, whatever it is. There's just so much to do that I think 7.1 is really the perfect place to be adding those instance exploration zones like Bozja and Eureka. So it's too bad. I shouldn't say 7.1, I should say the 0.1 patch in any expansion. So it's too bad that they are not doing that. But that kind of content usually is a bit more evergreen, and I think that's one of the issues that the game is struggling with, is that what evergreen content it does have isn't always being super thoughtfully put into the game in terms of when it comes into the game. And so if you are somebody who, you know, like I said, maybe you're not going to be doing all of the things that are coming in 7.1, you're not interested in all of them, but you do like those exploration zones like Bozja, and usually Bozja at least was tied to a relic weapon, and I believe so was Eureka. It was tied to the relic weapon system. It might be too early for the relic weapons, I'm not sure, maybe that's why they're saving it until later. But just that content having a lot to do, because Bozja wasn't just about the relic weapons. There was stuff you could farm in there. You could farm clusters to farm items that you could get for yourself, that you could sell. There was obviously just leveling your characters you could do in there. There's collecting little note things you'll get a bike mount if you finish that. There's Delubramagine Savage where you can get a mount, and the other different Bozja raids. So there's quite a bit of stuff involved in these exploration zones that you can do. So if they brought that out sooner, basically the evergreen content that people could start farming if they wanted to. But anyways, the exploration zones have a lot for you to do, and they're evergreen content, so it might be better for those to come first. So that's kind of my take on it. I personally think that it's a conversation that's a little bit overblown, that people are a little bit too upset about it, and I do think that a lot of people forget the kind of content that we do have in the game, and very few people have actually done everything. Even myself, as someone who's played for 5 years, there's still so much for me to do. So now let's talk about the stuff that I still can do in this game if I want to, and I've kind of put this in categories. The first one being stuff that I want to do at some point, stuff I actually genuinely want to do, not stuff that I'd be doing just for the sake of it, but just like literally stuff that I actually want to do. The second category will be stuff that I don't want to do, but probably will do eventually anyway, because that's the kind of person I am. And then finally, the third category is stuff that I could do, but I probably won't. I don't envision myself doing it. I just don't have enough interest in it that I'm probably never gonna do it. So let's start strong and talk about all of the things I have not done that I will probably do at some point, that I want to do at some point. It's just that why haven't I done it now or sooner or whatever? It's just I didn't feel like it. I didn't have the motivation, and that's okay. I do want to do it at some point, but that doesn't have to be right now. There's no reason that has to be right this moment, right? Okay, so the first thing on my list of stuff that I want to do at some point is maxing out all of the beast tribes. I've actually done all of them except for Heavensward. So what I mean by maxing them out is the beast tribes have ranks, and as you do the quests, you rank up. And so the final rank is Bloodsworn, so I want to get all of them to Bloodsworn, and then once you do that within an expansion, you get a quest that like unites all of them. So I really want to do that. I've only not done it for Heavensward. It's the only one that I have left. Next up on my list is Blue Mage. So I do have my Blue Mage unlocked, and I've got it at max level as well. I love Blue Mage, but I do still have a few goals for it. The first one is to collect all of the spells, because I don't have them all, I have most of them. The next one is to get the cool umbrella weapon from the Blue Mage challenge. It's the very final one in that little Blue Mage, like, it's like that solo arena where you do all the little funky challenges. You can get a cool umbrella from it, and I don't have it yet. And then finally, the Mourable mount. So if you do Savages, like the Alexander Savage raids on Blue Mage, you do them synced with a full Blue Mage party, and you clear them all, you get an achievement, and you get the Mourable mount. And someday I really want to do that, because I love Blue Mage. I think it's super fun. Blue Mage healing is really fun. Blue Mage is just such a cool thing, and I feel like more people should try it. Like, if you're in this game and you think that you've got nothing left to do and you haven't played with Blue Mage, just play with Blue Mage. Like, I even did a Blue Mage Diamond Extreme once. There's an achievement, but it doesn't give you anything except like the achievement, but it was worth it. It was so fun. It was so cool because I knew that fight because I'd done it on my normal white mage or whatever, but wow. I just love Blue Mage, and I just wish more people would play it, and I wish it would be more relevant more of the time. But anyways, moving on, the next thing I would like to do, and I kind of briefly mentioned this when talking about content lulls and the exploration zones, but the next thing would be to get my Bozja bike mount. I'm actually super close because I was farming Bozja a little bit before Dawn Trail came out, and now I just need 2 of those little note thingy-bobbers, and then I will be able to get them out. I think it'll take me a while to get them though, because I either have to get them from a duel, which I'm like honestly not that confident about, or I have to get them from, I think, Castrum, and maybe the last one. I can't remember the name of it. Not Delubrum, the one after that. But Dalriata, that's what it's called. But yes, I also do want to do Delubrum Regine Savage. I've never done it, but I really do like the mount that comes from it. And I'm already a little bit of a Savage Raider. I dip my toes into Savage from time to time, so I think that would be really fun for me. Next up is Unreal Trials. So Unreal Trials are basically old Extreme Trials, I guess is the way to put it. So they bring them back and they sync them up to our current item level and whatnot. And I've actually never done an Unreal Trial, not one. I've never done a single one. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Like, I love Extreme Trials, but surprisingly, I've never done an Unreal. And there's some really cool mounts and minions and different rewards that you can get through like the Faux Hollows thing. I think you are able to do Unreal like once or twice a week, and you collect these little like reward token thingies that you can exchange for mounts, minions, etc. So I would like to get doing that as well. I'm gonna try and get myself to do the Unreal coming with 7.1, which I think is Byako, but yeah, I really want to get into Unreals because I love Extreme Trials, so I don't get why I've never done an Unreal. I have no explanation, but I do want to do that in the future at some point. Alright, next up. I really want the Triple Triad card mount, okay? I think it's really cute. I think it's like a cute little funky mount, and I love it. But I suck at Triple Triad. I probably should like read the rules, maybe find like a guide online to help me, or just YOLO it like I have been. Gotta get from the Moogle event some Triple Triad cards. I really don't know, but I do want that mount, so that is something that I want to work towards at some point. Next up, Eureka. I have not really done Eureka. I've like dipped my toes into it briefly, but I think it was just one of those things where I wasn't really ready to do it, because I always do things at my own pace in the game. When I feel like doing something, I do it. I do like to jump on content when it's new, like whenever there's current new content, I really enjoy doing it, but you know, doing old content, I feel like I have to kind of do it at my own pace, do when I feel like doing it. I'm not gonna, if I don't feel like playing 14 anymore and I want to try other games, then that's what I do. So Eureka eventually I will do, but I think the mount from it's really cool. I'd like to try Baldessian Arsenal. I've heard that that's kind of a tricky, challenging, fun content, so I would like to try that as well. The next thing I'm interested in doing but have not done yet is leveling Fisher, and maybe even trying to get that really cool shark mount. I believe you get that from fishing. I feel like people who fish, I feel like Fisher has like a cult following. I was gonna say, I feel like those people are happy and chill, and like it could be a good way to make friends. I don't know. There's just something about Fisher that it has this vibe to it that I feel like it could be possibly really cool, and maybe I could like make new friends doing it. So I really kind of do, I want to become a Fisher. It's like the only like crafter gatherer that I actually have a little bit of interest in. So I'd like to try it out and see what it's like. I have it unlocked, but I don't really have it leveled, so I'd like to go for it someday. Next up is Criterion dungeons and possibly even Criterion Savage because they have really cool weapons. The Criterion Savage seems really difficult and trying, and I think it'd be cool to do at least once. But the Criterion dungeons themselves, I haven't really done. I remember when the first one came out, I dipped my toes in it. I progged the first boss a little, but I never cleared it. I never even got past the first boss. So I don't know, I think at that time, because I remember I was still raiding through the P8S, that was kind of where I was at. And I remember being kind of burned out, so that's why I didn't feel like doing those. And it took me a long time, to be honest, to not feel burned out with the game again. So I never really got to do Criterion dungeons, even though I know that there's something that I would like because they're similar to an extreme, and I like the idea of being the only healer there. I feel like that would be a really cool challenge to not have someone else to lean on to help me. I would really like to do them. I really hope that this time around when they come out, I'm feeling up for it. I might decide not to do the next Savage tier if that's when Criterion's coming out, just because I don't know why. I feel like I can't do too much stuff that requires heavy focus like Savage does. I can't do too much difficult stuff all at one time or I get burnout. So I might just pick Criterion this time. We'll see. Okay, speaking of difficult stuff, I've never done an ultimate, and I really want to try it someday. A lot of people say you should get started with Uwu because it's one of the easy, quote-unquote, easier ones now. But I think if I ever step foot into an ultimate raid, I'm gonna go straight into T. The Epic of Alexander? I don't know. T. Because that's the one with the best weapons. I don't see myself doing ultimate frequently because they're so hard, and even with Savage raiding I lose motivation quickly, and I just don't want to be committed to something for multiple months, but I can definitely see myself doing at least one, maybe here and there, but I do want to do T specifically because I love the weapons from it, so yeah. The next thing I'd like to try is Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High, and it's probably a surprise that I've never done these. Oh, there's also a new one now too that came out, I believe, was it Endwalker that it came out in? But either way, I did try Palace of the Dead once when I was kind of new to the game, but I didn't really have fun with it, and I think I was just with the wrong people because I was really bored. I remember being really bored. But a lot of people say that Palace of the Dead becomes a lot more interesting the further on that you get. And I've never even been past floor 50. I think the highest I got was 20 or 30. I really did not make it far because I was kind of really bored. So I'd like to give it another go because I trust other people's opinion that I probably didn't give it, a solid try the first time. But yeah, deep dungeons basically I think could be fun to try as long as I go with people that I actually like and find entertaining. I don't know, because I'm no shade to the people. I guess it's kind of shade. It's unintentional shade. It's not that I didn't like them. I didn't know them, okay? Let me put it that way. I knew one of them. But anyways, moving on. The next thing is treasure dungeons. So obviously I've done treasure maps, I've done treasure dungeons, but I haven't done the new ones yet. I have not done the Dawn Trail ones. So I'd like to do them. And you know what? Treasure dungeons are kind of evergreen content in my opinion because there's something that you can keep going back to over and over. And they're always kind of cute and fun, and they have good rewards, and you can make some gil. And it's also a good social event to do with your FC or your friends. So treasure dungeons, I would definitely like to do more of in the future, and I would definitely like to do the new ones. All right, now the psychotic part of me is coming out. I want to farm bicolor gemstones. I mean, I don't want to, but I also do want to, because more specifically, there's rewards that I want that come from bicolor gemstones. There is some insane part of me that wants to farm them and get the black wings. I kind of want the mount too. Here's the thing, I think the mount is ugly, but I like collecting it. And I'm talking about the stuff that you get with 500 vouchers. So the old mount, the Wiver thing, I think it's called. I think that one's ugly. The new mount that comes in Dawn Trail, it's like a little squirrel, flying squirrel thing. I wish it was blue. I wish it was blue like the A rank, but it's yellow, the A rank hunt mark, I mean. But it's yellow, so it's that one is also one of those where I'm it'd be cool to have, but I also don't really think I'm gonna farm it. But the wings, I actually kind of genuinely want to farm those because I'm crazy. But there are a few other items from Bicolors that I don't actually have yet. Like there's this one pretty hair laurel thing that I don't have yet, so I'd like to get that with Bicolors too. So yeah, there's just some things with Bicolors that I'd like to get, so I'd like to do that. Another farm, this one a little bit easier I think than Bicolors, is Manderville Golden Points. Is that what they're called? MGP? I don't know what any of this stuff stands for. I should, but I don't. I need 4 million MGP so I can get that stupid mount. It's like a blimp and you can't even see your character, and I want it. I just want it for like the prestige, you know? Like I don't actually like it that much, but I might as well. I like the Sabatender one. I already have that one, the 2 million one. And honestly, there probably are a few like minions and things that I don't have yet with MGP, so the MGP farm must continue. Another farm is the Mentor Roulette. I want the mount that you get at 2k. I think it looks really cool, and I want to have it. Some other things I may want to have are old relic weapons. I remember seeing the Astrologian one called Canopus Lux and thinking it was really cool. And yeah, some of the relic weapons are really cool. So anything like Stormblood or earlier, I don't have. I think I have Thyrus Nexus and that's it. So I think eventually I would like to visit some of the older relic weapons and get them. Okay, the last thing for stuff that I want to do, like I actually want to do at some point but haven't done yet, is actually replaying the entire game, the story, because it's been 5 years and honestly, I don't remember most of it. I don't think I really remember that well beyond like, or before Endwalker, because when I first started, Shadowbringers was out. That was the most recent one, so I played it through everything 5 years ago. And I don't remember a lot. I hardly remember Stormblood. I did replay all of ARR on an alt, and I plan to keep going through that. But yeah, I really want to replay the story and experience it again. Okay, also have to add, there are a bunch of jumping puzzles in this game that I have not done. I actually have gotten to the top of Kugane Savage, but there's a bunch of jumping puzzles I haven't done yet that I do want to do, and I think in the future I'll do a video on like all of the jumping puzzles in the game and where to find them and like where to start them, because they're kind of really a fun little way to spend your time. Maybe something you could do while you're waiting for a queue to pop, and I feel like maybe that'd be something that people would want. But anyway. Alright, now on to stuff that I don't want to do but probably will do eventually. First would be leveling all of my crafters to max so that I can repair by myself and I don't have to worry about repairs. And then along those same lines, leveling desynthesis to max because it can be kind of useful. I also want to level all jobs to max just in general because, I don't know, I do like trying out different jobs and seeing what they're like. And I think it'd just be cool, and you get some like cool rewards for it. You get mounts, I think, for doing it, so yippee. And then the next thing would be mount farming, Endwalker mounts, because I have all of the mounts for all of the older stuff. I have all the Shadowbringer Gwibbers and stuff, and so it's now time to unsync the Endwalker Extreme Trials and farm those mounts and get the... Actually, I like the... I don't like the mounts from it, but I like the one that you get for getting all of them. It's they call it like something Bahamut or whatever, and it's so silly looking and it's kind of stupid. It's like kind of ugly and stupid, and that's exactly why I like it. It's just very silly. Let's see. Also, there are some Savage mounts I don't have, so I'd like to unsync some of the older Savages and farm the mounts. I still don't have the shoe, as people call it, which I think comes from E4S. I call it the shoe just all the time because everybody around me call it the shoe, but then whenever I talk to new people, I'm like, yeah, I still need the shoe. They're like, what are you talking about? It's the E4S mount. I need the shoe. Okay, and then the final thing that I need to do eventually that I kind of don't want to do, but probably will eventually, is decorate my friend's house for him. He literally gave me, like, what is it? I was going to say permission, but he made me like a tenant of his house so that I could decorate it. And I haven't done it. And I said I would do it, so eventually I'll do it. I'm honestly not that into decorating housing. It's not really my thing, but I will probably do it eventually. Okay, finally stuff that I just don't envision myself doing at all. Like I could do it, but I don't think I will. There's just two here that I could think of. Because a lot of stuff like I do. That's the thing, is I'm willing to do like almost any content in this game, but stuff I don't envision myself doing, first of all, would be the Bozja duels, although honestly, I might have to get my history note thing for my bike. And then the other one would be just like PvP stuff, because I just hate PvP. I really only do it for like the Serious Milestone rewards and like to level jobs, but I don't like PvP. But there are some really, really cool PvP weapons that you get. I think you have to get like, is it crystal ranking in Crystalline Conflict or diamond rankings? I don't know what the rankings even are because I never play that crap. Because I just don't enjoy PvP. But the weapons are really, really neat. So I don't think I will ever get them, but I could try, but I won't. I just don't think it's worth it. So there you go. This video is forever long because first I had to talk about my opinions on the whole drought thing, and then I had to tell you all the crap I haven't done, but there's a lot. So here's my thing is like, yeah, you know, maybe you want to have more stuff coming out that's new and fresh and that everyone is doing, but there really is a lot of stuff in this game in general, and I'm sure some people have done more than I have, some people have done less than I have, and some stuff people just won't be interested in doing, and that's totally okay. But you know, please remember that the devs have to try to make stuff for all of us to enjoy, for all different kinds of players. It's a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, and there's also a lot of quality of life stuff that they have to work on too, like things like cross data center matching, like a party finder system that will use the entire data center system, not just like matching within your own data center, you know, stuff like that. So give them, cut them a little slack. Like, yes, go ahead and share your opinions because, you know, sharing those things helps the devs know what direction that we as the player base want the game to go in, things that we like, things that we dislike, but please try to be respectful about it as well. And don't be afraid to take a break from the game to unsub. I know it sucks if you have a house because, like, I've seen some people say that the reason they want more content is because they have to pay their sub for their house, because if you don't walk into your house, it'll get destroyed after 45 days and it'll go back up on the market for anyone. And I really hate the housing system. I wish that it just wasn't a thing. I understand that there's limited housing, so they have to destroy them if someone's not playing anymore so someone else can enjoy it, but it just sucks. And I think you need, like, people need to ask themselves, like, is what you're bothered by the housing thing or actually the lack of content? Because they're different things. Like, if you could just quit the game, unsub for as long as you wanted without having to worry about your house being destroyed and put up for sale for someone else, would you care as much as you do? You know, like, that's kind of a good question to ask, but unfortunately we're kind of stuck with that housing system. I think we should keep pushing for instant housing because that way we can all hopefully have our own house and not have to worry about this kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of my take, my opinions on everything. Just like I said, try to be respectful. My dog is barking. I'm gonna go. Please leave your comments on things. And thank you for watching. And as always, leave a sacrifice for Lord Algorithm in the form of like, comment, share, or subscribe. And thank you to my channel members. Bye.